Y'all, Terrance Howard got up there with Bill Maher, and he said that they was going to select him as the player as Marvin Gaye in a biopic of his life. First of all, let me just say, I don't know if I can believe Terrance Howard on that one. First of all, I ain't saying you got to look exactly 100% identical as somebody, but with Terrance Howard's voice tone, just imagine him being in the Marvin Gaye in one of the scenes playing as Marvin Gaye here in the studio, and somebody asks him, and say, "Hey Marvin, when you gonna play that next track?" And then Terrance Howard playing as Marvin Gaye said, "Hey man, I'm gonna play the track when I get a chance to play the track. Y'all just gotta just sit back and relax. That's y'all problem, man. Y'all ain't never patient." Now, you in the movie theater and he sounding like that, and not even sounding like Marvin Gaye, yet alone not even looking like him. Who's finna believe that? Who you gonna sell that to? But them to believe like, okay, like we're gonna select him and have him be Marvin Gaye in a biopic. You can sit there. How you gonna sit there? Like, let's just say if they do have a Marvin biopic, that movie would probably be like 2 hours. I'll say 2 hours and change. Who finna sit there 2 hours and watch Terrance Howard play Marvin Gaye and actually believe it? So when he got up there and said that the reason why he didn't, go on with being like for them to like have him play as Marvin Gaye and go along with that and play as Marvin Gaye in the biopic, he said he turned it down because Quincy Jones, long live Quincy Jones, but Quincy Jones was allegedly on the other side. Let me just say, Skittles taste the rainbow. So he said that Quincy Jones told him that Marvin Gaye was gay. Now, when he said that, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Now I know somebody got to be lying. Because I'm starting to think like, I'm starting to think like this, man. I ain't never heard not one time that Marvin Gaye was gay. And I've been following Marvin Gaye. I was born in 1990, but still, like, I'm an old soul, so I listen to a lot of old school music, and I've seen some documentaries and a lot of interviews with different old school legendary classical artists, Michael Jackson and such, Prince and Marvin Gaye, Rick James, and I've never said or read any article on Marvin Gaye, and they said that Marvin Gaye was bisexual. I ain't never heard that until Terrance Howard said that that's what Quincy Jones told him. And I'm starting thinking like, for Quincy Jones to say that, I can't really go too far into that topic because Quincy Jones no longer here. But at the same time, as I get into the topic a little bit, I'm gonna get into the topic just a little bit. For Quincy Jones to say that, it made me think like, was people like that attracted to, for the people like that were gay or when they were here, when they were gay, did they like Marvin Gaye so much to the point that they wanted him to be gay? Because I've never heard of Marvin Gaye being gay. So did Quincy Jones like Marvin Gaye that much to wish gay on him and to say that he was gay? And for Lee Daniels to be the one that they said allegedly was supposed to be directing this biopic on Marvin Gaye's life, it was said that it was supposed to be a gay scene or something like that of Marvin Gaye being gay in that biopic. So it made me think like, damn, did Lee Daniels like Marvin Gaye so much that he wished gayness on Marvin Gaye as well? Like, what is going on? Because like I said, I ain't never heard this. And I felt like Terrance Howard should have did some research. Just because it's Quincy Jones, you still want to do some researching on yourself to see if there's anything that's dealing with anything about this man being gay. But still, I'm glad that Terrance Howard decided to just back out anyway, because nobody want to see you play Marvin Gaye anyway. If one went well, Terrance Howard is a good actor, a damn good actor. But it just would not have went well with him doing such thing, because sometimes people got to know just when to sit in the back seat. On some things, you got to just take the back seat and just be like, okay, that one right there, that's not for me. Like, honestly, if you Terrance Howard, could you see yourself sitting in the movie seats and be like, okay, he killed that? Could you honestly see yourself looking at Terrance Howard play as Marvin Gaye in a biopic and say, "Woo, he killed that"? Yeah, that's a damn good job. Good job, Terrance Howard. Like, no, you couldn't, because I mean, it would be nothing that Terrance Howard could sell off of a selling point, as not only just as a playing as Marvin Gaye as a character, but just the movements. I mean, it ain't just about just the acting. It's the movement. It's the body mannerisms. Pause. And it's the voice. It's just like the whole being of when you see somebody and you looking and you tuning in that tunnel vision, I guess you could say, to that character as an audience member or a spectator, whatever you want to say, looking and watching that film and actually believing that, okay, that's the guy. Terrance Howard is not going to give you that playing a Marvin Gaye role. He's just not. And I'm feeling like this. Is people that desperate for a Marvin Gaye biopic to come out for Terrance Howard to be one of your selections? I mean, it's just like, I'm separating this for the acting because, I mean, Terrance Howard can actually act. But I'm taking away the acting. I'm just going by just off if you're looking at it on paper. Or if you're looking at it you seeing a picture right here and you seeing the role right underneath the picture. All right, for example, seeing Terrance Howard playing as Marvin Gaye in a Marvin Gaye biopic is just the same as Flex Alexander playing Michael Jackson in the biopic. I probably went too far for some of y'all that y'all ain't never seen or seen like little like pictures or photos back in the day. Well, Flex Alexander, you can Google it. Michael Jackson biopic. It's terrible. Flex can act, but some things, like I said, you have to sit in the back seat and be like, hey, ooh, that's not for me. You got to just know what's for you and what's not for you. And Lord knows, they gave it to Flex Alexander like people went in on him, pause, for years. Not days, not weeks, not months. But they went on at Flex Alexander for years for doing that movie. But people ain't thinking about like, okay, like, man, you never know what kind of tight position Flex probably was financially. Like, he just took that because, he probably needed the bread at the time. But if you, like, a fan of Michael Jackson, like myself, you'd be like, oh, hell no, this is disrespectful. How the hell would he take this role? Because people ain't thinking about him having kids, having a mortgage you got to pay, trying to keep a roof over his head. We ain't thinking about that. We just thinking about that disaster of a movie. And ever since he made that movie, it took some years for Flex to get back into Hollywood to be like believable as an actor, for people to actually give him a chance. That's how bad it was. Yeah. And he didn't do nothing crazy. He wasn't playing nothing, no gay role or nothing. It was like he was just being Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was not gay. But people want to say that or try to say something about the whole pedophile thing, because he rightfully owned his masters and owned all his music and his catalog. And he bought the Beatles catalog. That's what it was. I think he bought the Beatles catalog from them. So it's like, ooh, you do that to a white band? Oh, yeah. They finna come at you with lies and everything they can and try to break you. But that's a whole nother conversation. But that's the same thing. That's how bad it was. Like, you looking at Terrance Howard playing as Marvin Gaye is just like looking at Flex Alexander trying to play Michael Jackson in the biopic. Some things you have to take the back seat for. I might just title that video that some things you just have to take the back seat for. But I don't know, I'm gonna just keep it. I'm just saying, what I had in my mind already. Terrance Howard was saying that he was supposed to play Marvin Gaye. But y'all can let me know what y'all think in the comments if y'all familiar with anything that I've said for my black audience, or even if you're white. I'm quite sure there's a lot of white people out there that know Marvin Gaye too, as well as Flex Alexander. So, and Terrance Howard. So I'm not just going to say black people know what I'm talking about with this one. There's some white people out there with some soul too. Just like it shocked me when I seen a brother by the name of Robin Thicke coming to the scene. Justin Timberlake. But Justin Timberlake, he didn't have soul till later. Robin Thicke came in with soul. Shout out to Robin Thicke. But yeah, man, this is something that I'm saying to myself, like, nigga, ain't nobody nobody wants you to play no Marvin Gaye. Cut it out. He's just making up stuff for clickbait. Ain't nobody said Terrance Howard like, that's our guy. I don't care what nobody said. That's our guy. That's who I want to play. That's who can nail a Marvin Gaye character. Terrance Howard. Man, you can't even say that with a straight face without laughing. And that's no disrespect to Terrance Howard, but some things you have to take the back seat for. So please, we're going to save all that to save whoever that they find. I hope it's somebody that I feel like that can be believable. I heard of Luke James being, he could be a potential character to play as Marvin Gaye in a biopic. I can see that. That'll be dope, because Luke James can act, and it just will be believable as visualization, just visualizing that would be believable. And he can act. And let's just say if Marvin Gaye was gay, Luke James wouldn't have no problem playing that because he plays a gay role in the shot. He's, dating a transgender. Thespians, what they call it. An actor of the arts. But I'm a Terrance Howard though on one thing. I can't play no gay role. It's just some things that I just can't do that I have to take the back seat for. Sensei Reality Show. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Y'all already know what it is. One love.